Have you ever imagined spending an entire night searching for a loved one, panicking that something terrible has happened, while also dreading that the moment you finally find them might be the exact moment the police show up and slap on the cuffs? Next week's Emmerdale delivers that same suffocating tension when Bear goes missing and Paddy nearly falls apart. Paddy searches nonstop, growing more desperate with every dead end, until things get even worse when D.S. Walsh bluntly reminds him Bear has breached his bail conditions, meaning the second he's found, he'll be arrested. That warning isn't just a legal detail, it's the pressure point that traps Paddy psychologically. The more he wants to save his dad, the more powerless he feels, because the law is already waiting at the end of the road. Paddy finally finds Bear, but not in anything close to a normal situation. Bear is drowning in grief beside Anya's empty grave. The empty grave detail hits differently. There's no closure, no solid ending to hold on to, so the mourning just hangs in the air and pulls you deeper. For Bear, it's like standing in front of a loss with no shape. No matter how hard he tries to reach for it, all he touches is emptiness. And in that moment, Paddy is forced into a decision that will probably split viewers right down the middle. He chooses to pay to place Bear in a high-security mental health facility, hoping to protect him while also keeping him out of prison. It sounds cold on paper, but if you put yourself in Paddy's headspace, it's the kind of desperate plan you make when you're racing the clock. He isn't looking for the perfect option. He's grabbing the one that feels less devastating out of two brutal outcomes. The question hanging over everything is whether that plan will be enough to keep Bear out of the police's hands, or whether Paddy is only buying a few more breaths before the storm hits. While Paddy fights to save his father, Cain is dragged into a different battle, one where pressure comes from every direction and tightened day by day. Cain is trying to carry the farm and the kids in a constant state of strain, and that's the dangerous kind. It makes you look fine on the outside while the cracks spread underneath. Joe spots that weakness and keeps pushing, arranging a cattle inspection over TB concerns. It's not just an inspection, it's a fresh spark thrown onto a pile of worries that's already overflowing, and one wrong turn could send Cain completely over the edge. Joe doubles down by stressing his desire to buy the farm, as if standing in front of Cain and saying, "You're already losing." Maddie reminds Cain that Butler's matters to Moira, tugging him back toward responsibility and emotion, but Cain's mind is drifting towards something much darker. Maybe the farm was never going to be saved at all. That's where Cain's tragedy sits. Not that he's weak, but that he's been pushed so hard he's starting to believe effort is pointless. And when someone believes that, they're more likely to make the worst choice at the exact moment they think they're being realistic. And just as Cain tries to stop everything from breaking, trouble flares again through Sarah. Cain has refused to keep stealing cars with Sarah. At least he tries to draw a line. But Sarah can't stop. She spots a sports car in the village and instantly gets pulled by impulse. That thrill-chasing urge of someone who knows it's wrong but wants to test it anyway. Like one hard hit of the accelerator could erase the chaos in her head. But Jacob catches her, and the gut punch is that it's his boss's car. Jacob isn't just angry about the vehicle. He's terrified his job could vanish because of Sarah's reckless minute. He demands answers, demands to know what's going on. And the moment Sarah doesn't tell him hits even harder. Her silence makes him feel untrusted, like he's not important enough to deserve the truth. From there, Cain ends up wedged between his family's fury and confusion. Jacob and Charity both turn on Cain for letting Sarah get involved in car theft. But Cain still keeps his cancer secret buried. And honestly, it's very Cain. He uses silence as his last form of control, as if not saying it out loud means it hasn't fully become real. But the irony is that the more he hides, the more people misunderstand him, the angrier they get, and the wider the distance grows. Liam steps in as the friend who doesn't rant or force him. He simply says Cain should be honest, because his family can only stand beside him if they know what he's fighting. The advice sounds simple, but for Cain, it's a direct confrontation with fear. Fear of weakness, fear of pity, fear of losing status in the eyes of the people he loves. Yet the person who hits Cain hardest is Sarah. Cain's secret creates even more fractures between Sarah and Jacob, and eventually Sarah goes to Cain and unloads everything she's been carrying alone. She says she's sick of being the only one who knows, and she calls Cain a coward. It's brutal, but if you look through Sarah's psychology, it's the explosion of a kid forced into an adult role. Keeping an adult's secret doesn't make her stronger. It makes her exhausted and isolated. She has to fear for Cain, watch everyone misjudge him, and still isn't allowed to speak. Pressure closes in from every side. Graham even advises Cain to sell, and Cain is left facing a choice that many viewers will find bitter. Keep straining to hold the farm or let go because he's starting to believe he can't win against the tightening trap. Elsewhere, Laurel worries her friends when she gets dizzy, and Nicola and Gabby don't believe it was just a simple blackout. Laurel sticks to her story and tries to keep Arthur out of trouble, like she's using her own body as a shield to protect her child. But Manpreet is suspicious about Laurel's injury, and a private conversation between them could peel back the truth connected to Arthur's outburst. It's the kind of plotline that I love because it isn't loud, but it's tight with tension. The more you hide to protect, the more people start to doubt you, and the messier everything becomes. Then Jacob stumbles into a real social nightmare. He openly criticizes his demanding boss, Dr. Todd, in front of Eric. Without realizing Dr. Todd is standing right behind him, Jacob has to apologize in a painfully awkward moment, and the fear afterward is worse. He's convinced he'll be marked. But the twist is that Dr. Todd chooses Jacob for a mentorship program. That's the kind of moment that makes viewers wince, because it creates an uncomfortable ambiguity. Is it genuine recognition, a power play, or a way to keep Jacob under tighter control? It's the unpredictability that unsettles Jacob the most. Finally, Carrie and Jai keep up their secret workplace relationship, trying to play boss and employee in front of everyone else. Carrie distracts people by openly mocking Jai in public, then slips away to meet him privately. I see that storyline as a dangerous game. The more acting you have to do to hide something, the easier it is to slip, because all it takes is one mistimed moment for people to realize something isn't normal. So overall, next week's Emmerdale feels like an emotional domino run. Paddy races to keep Bear out of prison with a controversial choice. Cain is squeezed to the edge by Joe, while the cancer secret tears at his family. Sarah's impulsiveness drags Jacob toward losing his job before she detonates on Cain with cruel words. Laurel's injury raises suspicion. Jacob puts his foot in it with Dr. Todd and ends up in a mentorship that leaves him anxious. And Carrie and Jai keep gambling with a secret at work. And the thing I'm most curious about is this. If you were Paddy, would you dare to lock your father into a high-security treatment facility just to avoid prison? Or would you choose another path, even if it came with bigger risks?